Hey guys, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay. Any one of you, if you want to do a demo on your chatbot, the robot last week, and you can log into Zoom, and you can do your demo. So you just connect to the Zoom and share your screen, and then we can do a demo on here. Okay. All right. Before we are waiting for someone to do the demo, and we'll continue last week's lesson. And this week we are going to talk about we are going to talk about the leaks, and we will learn a new library called random. So the first thing, like before, we just go to W3 schools, and I go to Python. So far we already learned all the way to here, but we haven't covered some of them yet. Like for example, tuples, sets, dictionaries. We haven't covered that yet. But today we are continue to learn links. So yeah, let me move on for this one. Over here. Okay. Yeah. So we already learned leaks, but we haven't covered all of them yet. And on the Python, and Python doesn't have something called array, but they call it leaks. And a list is something like, you're saying a list is a collection which is ordered and changeable, allows duplicate members. What does it mean? It means like you have a list of items. For example, you can have a list of string or a list of number. Like for example here, you can see that you can have a list of string, and here we have the list apples, bananas, and cherry. Okay, and you probably will wonder why there's something called tuple and set. And from this definition, you can see that the only difference between list and tuple is saying list is changeable. Give me 1 second. I may probably need to unmute everybody here. I have to unmute it. And unmute everybody here. So yeah, the only difference is a list is changeable and tuple is unchangeable. And for a set, they are saying, oh, it's unordered and unindexed. And dictionary is different things, and we will talk about that later. But if you know list, and which means you probably know tuple and set, because they just changeable or unchangeable, which means you can change the item in a list, but for tuple you can't. Like for example, you have the list here, apple, banana, cherry, and you can change apple to apple 1 or apple 2, but for in the tuple you can't change the item inside the tuple. But we're still learning the list, because most of the time you will use the list unless you have some performance issue. You probably need to go back to use tuple. Okay. And for here, let's see. We already covered this part and saying how to access an items. So we access the items by index. What does it mean? It means like you have a list. It's like they are ordered. They have the order. Like for the first one is index 0. The second one is the index 1. The third one is an index 2. And so on. And then you have index 4 and index 5, something like this. And if you want to access this index, this item, the apple, you probably just saying use the variable name, use a bracket, and inside the bracket and you put the index here. And for if you want to get the apple, so you will have the index 0. Okay. And the funny thing in Python is like Python use something called negative indexing, which you can find in the other programming language, but Python they do have the negative. But what they said negative is just like the counting from the bed, like here. Like for example, you can assume from the end here is 0. Like if we put the index 0 here, then this one is negative 1, right? Because 0, negative 1. So negative 1 is for cherry, and negative 2 is banana, and negative 3 is apple. So you go on saying, if you are starting from the beginning is 0, 1, 2. And if you're starting from the last one, it's just 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Just it depends on how you count it. So, but we just use the index to access this value, like apple, banana, cherry. And also, we also covered this before. We're saying we use the also use the bracket, but the bracket you inside the bracket you have 2 numbers here, but you put a column here. For this one, it's just like doing the same like the string we have from the index 2 to index 5. So I'm going to click on the try yourself and it will show you what I mean. So if you run this script, it's just telling you from index 2 to 5. So let's just count. From 0 is apple, 1 is banana, 2 is cherry. So from 2 to 3, orange, 4, kiwi fruit, and 5. And we are at this point, 5. So that's why from 2 to 5. So we have cherry, orange, and kiwi. So hopefully you can get what I'm saying, because you need to get used to how to count use the index. So we always counting from the beginning is 0, and then 1 and 2. You saw when I counting them is on the gap, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's no 7 because 7 is out. So yeah, if in this case, if I'm saying from how about from 5 to 6, and let's just guess what it is. If I do from 5 to 6, what did we choose from this list? Okay. And again, Eric, you should use the bracket instead of the parenthesis. Okay, use bracket. Okay. In Python, we use parenthesis for the parameter, to include the parameter, but for the list, we use bracket. You got what I'm saying? So you just change your print to bracket 2 to 5. You will get it. All right. So if I say 5 to 6, so what it is, before you run the script, and I want you guys to try it, or you can give me a guess, and if you think that is the value, we are choosing 5 to 6. Obviously 5 to 6 is just one item, right? So if you know the answer, please just leave it on the chat box. And let's say if we have these list: apple, banana, cherry, orange, kiwi, and melon, and mango. If from position 5 to 6, what will be the output? If you choose from the index 5 to index 6, between them, what would be the answer? If you know the answer, please put it into the chat box, so I know you already get it. Yep, I guess Eric already gave me an answer. So what I'm gonna do, just run it and see what's the answer. Okay, yeah, everyone just get it. Yep, cool. So I just run it and verify if your answer is good or not. So obviously everyone is doing really good. We got melon. Yep, because what I want you to do is just like you learn how to count from a list and use the index, and that's the way we do the index for a list. And we already learned from a string, and the string, they use the same technique to do the start and end, and use the same technique to access the substring. But here for the list, they come with items: 1 item, 2 items, and 3 items. But if you want to access them, and they will have the same technique, and just use the index to grab the sublinks. Okay, and we'll continue. And here is some trick, like I show you, like from here. And they also use a column, but just doesn't put any number here. And what does it mean? It means just from the beginning, which means is putting a 0 here, 0 to 4. So not a big deal for this one. But for the how about you say if I'm missing one number in the right side, like from 2 to, obviously is from 2 to n, because it's the n, right? From 2 to n. So which is good. And yeah, you might see something like this kind of interesting things, but honestly I never use this. Like you always use the negative to count them, but you still can count, right? Like we just learn from them is like you count from here is 0, from the end is 0. Let me pull this one a little bit and I show you what I mean. So you will count it from 0, 0 here, the end is 0, and then -1, -2, -3, -4. So it's like 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. So that's why you got from -4 to -1 is orange, kiwi, and melon, and which is pretty straightforward. It's just like you know, as long as you know the beginning is 0 and 0, or start from 0 at the end, and you can forward or backward, and really not a big deal. It's easy for you as long as you know from the start point is 0. And yeah, like what we talked at the beginning, and we say because for ellipse you can change. So like here, and we are going to change the banana to blackcurrant. I never have this through, but yeah, you can change a banana to something else. Like I want to change the apple to orange. So what I want to do is just put the 0 here, which means 0 is the apple. So we are going to change to the new value, like for example to orange, and I'm changing the legs to orange, banana, and cherry. So I'm going to try it and let you know. I just changed to, how about change it to 0? So the apple, change the apple to orange, and I'm going to run it. So it will change to orange, banana, and cherry. So again, it's not that hard. It's just like you know, we use bracket to access the value, use the index to access the value, this position, and you can use equal, which we call assign in Python, and we assign a new value to this position, like we are changing apple to orange. And again, is not that hard. And we're moving forward, and here is a little bit hard for us because we haven't covered that much for the for loop. And you can loop of them, like you can output apple, banana, and cherry. Okay, but today we are going to do something like how about, like, I don't want to just for obviously we are going to output the apple, banana, cherry, but sometimes you're saying, hey, I just want to output the the old position, like for example apple or cherry, and then you skip it. Hopefully you know what I mean, and because I'm going to do the exercise on that. Okay. And there's something funny here. It's saying you can check if the item exists or not. It's saying you use if apple is in the list or not. It's just saying apple in the list and use in the keyword in. And again, if we need something like, oh, we want to check if the item is in the list or not, and you go back to this and look it up, and you know we can use in to check the list. So yeah, let's continue. And if you know how many items in this list, so you use this one function called length, and you can put the list as the parameter to the function. And if it tell you, obviously is 1 to 3, there are 3 items in this list. Okay, so yeah, I will leave the rest of them next time, and we are going to do some exercise. And now I want you to go to the website called Repel It. So I'm going to repel, and I'm going to copy it and put it here in case you can't find it. Oopsie. I move this one bigger because I think you can't see what I'm typing. And zoom it a little bit. Probably that is too much. So yeah, today the exercise is easier. So first we will define a list with different color, and then we are going to print them out. Like for example, I define a variable, so a variable called, how about just colors, and we are going to assign a list to this variable, like colors, and we have different colors. And I'm not good at the color name, but let's just go red and 0, or blue and purple, and how about green, and also green, purple, blue. What else? I could have orange, and also like yeah, in case you have something, just type it in the chat box, so I just put it in. Okay guys, I need your help. Just put it in the chat box, so if you know some of the color name, and I just put it in here. Okay, so I like green, something like this. Okay, so what I want is like yeah, if you know some names, the color name, just let me know and put it in the chat box, so I can continue to increase our colors. Okay, yeah, Jesse say it's pink, right? Okay, good. So here what we want is like here is saying if you want to add an items. Of course, if you want to add an items at the end, and they use append. Okay, if you want to add an item like in a specific index, like for example, if you want to add an orange in the index 1, like 0, 1, and you can insert into here an orange here. So we just have a whole bunch of color here. So I'm going to just add all of them. So because I already have the colors here, so I just have colors, append. So append, but this time because append is a method, and also you think is you might think it like a function. So I may just add the first one is pink from Jesse. So I add pink, and again colors. The append is violet. My spell is long, but let's just violet. And how about I may just use insert. I want to put it at the beginning. Insert for brown. Let's just insert to brown to the beginning. Like if you use insert, right? So you have two parameters here. Like I want to insert the brown to the how about the 0 to the index 0 at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is just like I put it in the index 0 and put what Jesse told me is brown. So I would put brown here, and I'm gonna continue to put it here, but it looks like it's too long. So how about I try to join two legs? Like I have one leg A, B, C, and join 1, 2, 3. So you can join them. So that's what I want to do. Just colors equal to colors but plus a legs. So I'm going to do just from Eric is saying Zen, and again Jesse give me one is turquoise, and Alexander give me something called teal, and a beast give me blue. Yeah, remember that we said we can have duplicate items. So I already add the blue, but Abby told me blue, so I'm gonna add blue as well and see it work or not, because they said it's allowed to duplicate the value, right? And Emery told me there's magenta, and could you something called magenta doesn't really know, and they said JK bro violet. Oh, that is the good name. So I am continue to adding violet. I guess I already added because I already have the violet, so I skip it. And Joshua told me is something called beige. Never heard about that. But anyway, I just sky blue, and Angela told me there's something called sky blue, and again she told me there's something called cerulean. That's cool. And yeah, so far I think we are good enough. So I'm just print them out, colors, and the last one is saying emerald, saying something called indigo. Yeah, we need to append it. Yeah, because I'm putting the string, that's why I have to use the single code to wrap them, right? So yeah, we forgot white is and bread, obviously. So we just like maybe just like this, bread and white. And lift animation told me something called that one. I have no idea what's that mean, but let me just add it as well. Okay, I think it's enough, guys. So I may just print it and see what happened. Okay, that's good because we have a long list of colors and it's long, and yeah, and I think yeah, the first one is brown, the brown one, because I insert it to the 0 to brown, and also I have the red at the second one, 0, and it looks cool. So hey guys, I just copy this one and put it in the chat box, so you don't have to do like what I did here. Oh, it's over that one, so I remove the white. Okay, all right, so yeah, for you, you don't have to do like my one, but I give you a little bit time and you can just do your code, and you probably don't have to do all of them. I mean, because we work all together and as a team, and then we can get all of them. And now what I want you to do is just build a colors list, and you print it out and show it here and see if they are showing up on here or not. Okay, I give you like 5 minutes and you do your coding, and then I want you to do the practice on the colors, and then you can have a correction of colors like what I have here. And if you don't want to like you want to skip all the coding, and you can just copy the whole list. And of course you're missing one, the last one, white, because I only can type 200 characters in here. Okay, so but I want you to have the colors. Yep, I saw most of you have done, and good job. Yeah, that's a good question. And yeah, question is, what does it insert mean, and what does this one mean? And that's a good question. Yeah, probably you understand a pen, because a pen, you just put something at the end, like you're putting something at the end here, like you have light green and you want to put the pink at the end, so I put the pink to the light green. Like I have light green here, and then I put another item called pink. Okay, and so you know how to add it to the end of your list. But if you're saying, hey, I want to add something to the specific position, like for example, I want to put it here at the beginning, so you might use insert. Okay, you can use insert. If you go back here, you can see that they have the document here. You can use, if you want to add an item, pen, so you can do insert. So you use insert, but obviously it's easy. You just insert an item to this position, which is we call index. And again, for this one, what does it mean? This shorthand here. Basically, it looks like this one, like colors equal colors plus list. But you think, oh, every time I have to type 2 colors, so it's kind of waste time. So that's why they do plus and equal, which means you just colors equal to colors plus something. Like remember that, and something like A plus equal 1, just A equal to A plus 1. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. It's just like a shorthand, just like easy to type, and say you a little bit tight. You don't have to do all the time like typing colors equal to colors plus something. You just use plus and equal. Or if you want to subtract something, you just saying colors minus equal, something like this. Okay, but for things for the list, you can only join them. I don't think you can subtract them, but you can try. But I won't try it because I never need to do subtract something like this. Okay. So again, Eric asked when will we do functions, and will you say the function probably next week, or because function we also use function, we also use it, but we'll cover later, and we'll talk about class because that might be should be together, and you have to know a little bit about the variable. They stay in the global scope or inside the function scope. But today we learn list. So yeah, I think you already built up a huge list like this. And what they said is like, how about I want to print them one by one? Like for example, like here, you said here, you use a for loop. You loop through a list. So again, it's easy. You already have a colors list. You just use for loop, and you output each of the item. So we go back to here. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this part because I don't want to output all of them, and I just use for item, or you can say color, because that is the list we use the colors in colors. And you may ask, what is this? We already know that is a list, is a variable. We define a variable which hold a list, and we just keep adding the things into this list. It builds a list, and we are using the for loop. The for loop is like for color in colors, and this color is also a variable, but this variable will get the value from the colors but each time it just get one of the item. For example, the first one would be brown. So we can put print. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to print just color. Okay, and now I'm going to run it, and you should have something like this. You print a list of them. Okay, after you I hope you can finish this code in 2 minutes. And the next thing is like I want to just get brown, 0, purple, orange, and pink. I skip one. I skip red, blue, green, and light green. You know what I mean? I just keep skipping them and make another output. So, but I want you to finish this one and as soon as possible. Now, if you're done, just let me know. Yeah, thank you, everybody. You're done. So, yeah, I hope you can finish this as soon as possible. Now, let me see if they can Python do MOD. Cool. I think most of you guys get it and how to do that. It's just like you are printing your colors in a list. It's very easy. You just use for loop and you print all of them. All right. So but when you use the for loop, there's some problem, and you only can get color, but you didn't have the index. You know what I mean? You just didn't have the index. Like, for example, I'm printing this color, and I want to know what index is here. But right now, since there are many ways to do that, but today we are using some straightforward method. We just like we define a like for example, we define something index, like just index, int index equal to 0. We just define a variable called index. But when you are comfortable with the list, like the for loop and the list, and you will use some method, they can output the index here. But right now we just define a variable called index equal to 0, and because assume that the first one you will output the 0 index, which is brown here. So that's why we know that the index is 0 for brown. So for the second round, I'm going to increase the index. So obviously you can do index equal to index plus 1, okay? Or you can use a shorthand, just like do this, okay? So you will keep the index running and going up and up until the end of the colors, okay? And now what I want you to do is like do some math for me, because we want to say only the index is let's say just we just print the index is only want to print, let's say just do it easier, we only want brown, 0, purple, and orange, which the index would be 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so far so on. Okay, and in math, I think you guys already learned this kind of thing, remainder. Like for example, if 5 percentage 2, the remainder is 1. I hope you know what I'm talking about for this math. Like for example, you have let me just tie it here, make it clear. But yeah, I think most of you guys already know what I mean. Like for example, usually you do 5 divide by 2 should be equal to 2, and the remainder is 1. Okay, let's do more, and like if 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5, and the remainder is 0, and again 11 is divided by 2 and equal to 5, and of course the remainder would be 1. And like here is, if it's 6, it's divided by 2 equal to 3, and the remainder is what? Is 0, right? And if 7, then you got the remainder is 1. And if 8, then you will get again is 0, 0 or 9, then again is 1. So what I mean here is like if the remainder is, let's say if the index divide by 2 and you get the remainder if is odd, and then we will print the color. If it's even, and we will skip it. So what I'm going to do is just like do if the index do remainder, you get the remainder by 2, and now if that one is equal to 0, and then we are going to print the color. And don't forget, you need to put 2 spaces inside the if code block. Okay, so I'm going to remove this part and see. I'm going to run my program and see it work or not. It should be just show half of them, and I'm going to copy this list, and then I'm going to run it. Now it just show half of this. So I hope you know what I'm talking about. It's just like we just choose half of them. Okay, and let me just copy my list in somewhere so we can compare. Text edit. That's our colors, but we only have brown, 0, purple, orange, pink, so far so on. And yeah, we only have half of them, and we only have the operation color. And I want you to do the same thing first, and I want you to get the same output like what I have here. But at the meantime, I want you to change your program a little bit, and I want to output the other half of the colors. Okay, if you're done, let me know and put it in the chat box so I know you get the other half of the colors, like red, blue, green, light green, violet, something like this. Okay, so yeah, how about I give you like 5 minutes, you can choose half of the other half of our list. Okay, if you're done, let me know. So if you're done, let me know. Okay, so we can move forward. Could you, I think you have a good question. And what is the percentage 2 equal to 0 mean? And basically it's like if you have, for example, you have percentage 2, like if you think it's just divide by 2, you just divide by 2. And there's a concept in the mathematics, it's called remainder. If you think, like for example, you have 4 by 2, it should be equal to 2, but there's no remainder left, so that's why you got 0, right? If it is 0, like for example, if like here I have 0, 1, 2, if 2 by 2 is equal to 1, right? 2 by 2 is equal to 1, so that's why it's like the remainder is 0. Why is equal to we use equal to 0 because in Python you use double equal. It's called equal. If you want one equal like this one equal, we actually is assign. You can assign the value here. So what does double equal mean here? Like why we need a double equal here? Because if the if statement, it have to come with something called a condition, like this condition. This condition is an expression. It have to have the output either true or false. Because if this one is true, then I'm going to this code block. Otherwise, it will skip it. If this one is I'm sorry, if this one is true, and then we will do this code block. If this one is false, so we will skip the code block inside this print code and we jump to the next line 15. That's why we have to use equal here, because you only get this output is equal to 0, right? Because if 4 divided by 2 got the remainder is 0. So 0 is equal to 0. That is true. That is true. You got what I'm saying? Because that is called, you have 0 here. 0 is equal to 0, and that's true. But if index is, for example, we are in index 3. 3 divided by 2, you got the remainder is 1. So 1 is not equal to 0. So we are going to skip this code block. We are not going to print the color. That's why we jump to line 15. So that's why we use the percentage here. And we also use the percentage on the string format. But today you learn something new. We use the percentage as the to get the remainder from these two numbers. Okay, that's why we learning programming is sometimes confused, because different symbol may have multiple usage. Like for example, we say the bracket here, and you might confuse, oh, why they using the bracket like for a list, and then sometimes you use a bracket to access the value into the list or to a string, and that's why we have to get used to them. And when you play with them a lot of time, and you will eventually you can get used to them, because yeah, that's why we learn a little bit new here. We have the 2. Okay, I hope most of you guys have been done. And what I want you to do today, because the time is almost up and we want to learn something a little bit new here. It's called random, because last week some of the students tell me in his robot, when you ask the robot to tell you a joke, like for example, if you open the iPad and you talk to the Siri and you said, Siri, please tell me a joke, and then the Siri will give you a joke, right? And that's the thing we want to make. And but how can we randomly choose a joke? That's the question. And there's Python, there's something called random. So I'm just Google here. I Google here, just Python random. So in the Python document, there's something called random. So I click the random. There's a very long document here. It's very long. But we only choose this one, something called choice. Let's just go to here, called choice. So it's saying if you use random.choice, it will return a random element from a non-empty sequence. Okay, so you shouldn't put a empty one, but it's saying it will return an element or an item from a list, like what we said, from a list. Okay, so let's just use this choice and see if we can get something from our joke. So I go back to the repo and I remove everything here. And the first thing I want to do is going to import random. Okay, That's how we can use the this library. Okay, the second thing is like you define a variable called jokes. So obviously I will put a lot of jokes here. Let's say just like a joke, B, and C. Okay, just A, B, C. And I just use print random dot choice and another parenthesis, and I just put jokes here. And I'm going to run it. It give me C, and run it again. Give me B, and run it again. Give me A. Again, B. Again, C, B. Again, C. Okay, I hope you got what I'm saying. So at the meantime, you are going to finish the code like what I did here. And if you are continually working on the correct question, you can copy it and paste your code in somewhere. If you have already signed up, you can save it in this site. But what I want you to do, you just copy it and save it in a notepad or somewhere you like. You just copy it and paste in somewhere to save it. But here we just like in this new code, and you just import a random module and you define a jokes, and now you use the random to make the choice, and you choose one of them from the jokes, and then you can print it out and randomly select one of them, and you are going to finish this code. At the meantime, I'm going to Google and see if I can copy and paste some jokes inside this string, and I can add more jokes. And if you know somewhere, or if you have a joke, you can obviously put it in the chat box. I may just copy and paste and put it here. Okay, so I will Google, just search some jokes. Let's see. Let's just find some jokes in the internet. Jokes, funny, and funny short jokes you can remember. And why is so big? But I don't know. Let's just, this one is good. A bear walks into a bar and give me a whiskey, like this one. So I just copy and paste here. Okay. And I'll find another one. Why there's so less of them? Free jokes, best jokes, anyone. Well, I can't find all of them, unless you guys have some good idea how to find more jokes. And let's just do, can I just call this one? I just paste here. And how about, let's not a part, let's go, no, I just copy it here. Well, you can add more, like more jokes. Okay, so I just have 3 jokes here, so let me just run it. What do you call a door-to-door bicycle salesman? I don't have an answer, but hopefully you know what I mean. And then yeah, Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can keep adding a jokes, adding more jokes, like different jokes, and then you can have a long, very long legs, and then every time you just print one of them, and you put this code into your the robot question and the inventory. You can like talk to the robot and saying, tell me a joke. You just type, tell me a joke. See, sometimes it will have this kind of thing, like you already have a code and making something weird in your string, so you have to escape, like use a backward slash, just escape. And that's how I just keep adding my jokes and making a big list, and then every time I run it and just keep giving me different jokes. And if you are still working on the program, like last week's program, and want to make your robot have this function, like I want to like just talk to your robot, tell me a joke, and then you can use this one to randomly choose jokes. Okay, I think that's it for today. If you have any question, you can join the Zoom, or you can just send me an email at help@dataarea.ca. Thank you for everyone. Or you can join the Zoom if you have any question. Hey Eric, our Zoom is like your parents should have the Zoom ID, and every time I just have to copy and paste here. And the Zoom ID. Oh yeah. In case you don't know what is Zoom and you never use it, it's just like a software like Google Hangout, like this kind of thing, like Zoom, and then so you can download it and install in your laptop, then you can do the communication. You can use Google Hangout, and you can use also use anyway, go to meeting or Skype, whatever you want. If you want to call me or send me an email, and it's okay. All right. I think you guys doesn't have any question, and that's why we just say goodbye and see you next week. And by the way, guys, because everyone just have the school class in the evening or in the afternoon, so I may just cancel the Wednesday class, so we will keep the Sunday class. Okay, but I will talk to your parent, so I will let them know.